Scene 3, take 3, shot 1.
What did you guys think on science exam yesterday?
Oh, it was so stressful, and I wanted to do it for A-levels as well.
So Mohammed, what are you going to do for A-level?
I'm doing further maths, physics and chemistry.
You're not going to do English?
No, I'm not going to do English.
I wouldn't be where I am now. I can say that, certainly, if I didn't do it.
I chose English because I was really good at it at GCSE and I found it really interesting. I could relate to subjects and align my opinions with other people's.
Compared to other subjects, it gives me a lot of skills and it's really challenging, and I enjoy having to look at the analytical aspect and the sort of creative aspect of it, and it sort of puts together all the things that I like and enjoy about learning.
English is like a subject where you're taught to communicate and you're taught to convey emotions and views.
Scene 1, take 1.
Describe English in one word.
I would say it's challenging,
Philosophic.
Informative.
creative,
Communicative.
Imaginative.
Interesting.
Outlet.
Cool.
You need to be able to communicate effectively. That's where English is applicable to everyone. You need to be able to write to someone, or to compose an email, or to even be able to construct sentences fluently when you're speaking to somebody.
I still work with plays and writing, and so I use a lot of the skills that I did when I did English A-level, kind of reading and studying. But I mean, yeah, beyond that, being able to talk to people, being able to kind of communicate and make arguments and read and know things, yeah, it's very useful.
Very important, for all of us, and this being one of the biggest reasons why humans have been so successful and progressed through the years, the fact that we can communicate with each other.
When I chose my A-levels, I had an idea that I wanted to become a doctor, so there were some things I had to do. I had to do chemistry, physics and maths, and they were very technical subjects where there's a right answer and a wrong answer. So alongside that, I chose to do English literature as well, which offered a really, really nice contrast. English was much more express yourself. What do you think about this? And it gave me the confidence to develop my own opinions and my own views.
It's definitely made me more articulate. It's improved my vocabulary. It's made me, I'm quite kind of hungry for reading anyway. I will always have a book in my bag. I will always be reading on the tube, and I just think it's broadened my horizons beyond anything.
Are you thinking of doing English A-level?
Yeah, I'm considering it.
Why?
English is relevant to my career.
So what drove me to pick English at A-level is because first in year 11 I had a very closed mind. I didn't want to pick English because I thought it would be very boring. However, my cousin came to me, he was like, you should do English because it will help improve your English in uni, because you do not want to go to university with a GCSE style English, because from his own experience he has friends that struggled writing their dissertation, and he said, and he wishes that he should have done, he wishes to do English because even though he done an economics and maths route, he says that he should do English to help him with his essay-based writing.
I enjoyed English and I was quite good at it up to GCSE, so I wanted to carry on. I enjoyed reading as well.
Why did you pick English A-level, Michael? Because I really enjoyed GCSE and I thought it would be a good choice for A-level. Yeah, I thought I enjoyed that at GCSE and I was good at it, so it made sense to pick it as well.
A teacher's function, especially in an English lesson, is to broaden people's horizons, open their minds, just get them to think in ways that they haven't ever thought before.
As part of English A-level, we analyse poems and we read books and we compare essays and analyse character descriptions and stuff.
We also do a lot of group work and debating and decision making.
I think society in general still values the sciences more, unfortunately. That's not my opinion, but I mean, there's a lot of data to suggest that if you just look at, for example, the amount people get paid, salaries, like in sciences, you are going to be paid better in general than in the arts. So society that we all live in does look like it values the sciences more than the arts.
I think the link between English as a subject and careers needs to be broadened, because currently I don't know if many people could say to you what job you can get with English qualifications. I don't think anyone could see that as like a valuable career building block, so to speak.
Well, I think people think that they have to be doctors and engineers, and even when they want to work in business, people just don't make the connection between having that English A-level. I don't know where it's come from, because I don't think anyone's ever explicitly been told English is not going to help you, but I think people just get a sense that it's not as useful as other kind of more rich scientific or mathematics subjects, which are maybe seen as being more academic, when I would disagree, definitely.
Are you thinking of doing English A-level?
No.
Why?
Because there's too many essays.
I think it's really useful to be able to take criticism. So it's actually quite similar. Writing an essay, handing it in, having it come back covered in red ink from a teacher is not so similar to now. If I write a comment piece and give it to my boss and he does exactly the same thing, crosses the pattern and says no, say this instead, or that's wrong, or this doesn't make sense.
What job are you going to have with an English A-level? What are you going to do with an English degree? I mean, there's an Avenue Q song about it. What are you going to do with an English degree? Nothing, apparently, and that's a complete lie. You can do so much with English A-levels and so much with an English degree, and that narrative isn't there. People see, oh, economics, I can be a banker. Science, I can be a doctor. And people don't see the link between English and careers. It all comes down to, instead of chasing what you love to study, you chase what you think is going to get you a job, and maybe some of that passion needs to be brought back into education as a whole. Maybe that's something that we as teachers need to be working on, because it's a shame that people are losing that passion for learning, and it just becomes something you've got to do instead of something you want to do.
It all starts in schools, it all starts with parents maybe pushing their children into the more scientific routes because they think that's ultimately where they'll be more successful. But people need to realise that having an English degree can take you anywhere. I know people that are psychologists, lawyers, bankers, doctors, who've got either English A-level or they've kind of done subsidiary English units as part of their degree. So it's invaluable.
No, I'm not going to do English A-level.
Why not? You're so good at it.
It's mostly like the same as GCSE. It's just writing, and it's the same thing.
Actually, my older brother did A-level English, and he said it was completely different to GCSEs.
But I'm saying, is it useful for my future? Is it useful for university? I don't think so, in my opinion, for what I want to do.
Fair enough.
So why don't boys take English A-level?
I don't think many boys are taking English because they see it as a feminine-based subject.
Disengagement with the subject, it seems quite boring and quite feminine as well.
They think that boys are more dominant in the physical subjects such as like PE or a science or a maths.
Sciences and math subjects, like math-based subjects, seems a little bit more manly, and like the English written-based subjects a little bit more feminine.
Why do fewer boys than girls pick it? I think they are drawn to the kind of more sort of humanities, to history. I think maybe is thought of as a sort of male alternative to English sometimes. I can't really articulate why. It must be to do with the fact that people think reading is kind of a fluffy, airy-fairy kind of hobby.
I definitely don't think it's a feminine subject. I don't even know why people think it's a feminine subject if that's what you're telling me they think.
Yeah.
Is that really the case?
I just find it so frustrating because English is so difficult and the texts are so rich, and we end up, at the moment we're kind of really digging deep into the ghastly horrors of the slave trade, and nothing about that is kind of effeminate or kind of girly or easy, and it's we need to break some of these preconceptions about English.
I don't know if this is going to be controversial or not. It's just a theory. don't think that it's true. Like I said, I don't think it's a masculine or feminine subject, but if I were to analyse and think why, I would say that girls mature quite quicker than boys do. And I think English requires a more deeper level of maturity, like to understand the complexities, where the fact that there is no right answer. And so maybe that's one of the reasons, that because they mature quicker, they can understand the concepts from many different angles, where they can then analyse and discuss higher level topics rather than just trying to get up to an answer.
I thought about taking English A-level, but I think it's not necessary for the career path that I'm going down.
What's that?
I'm planning to become a doctor when I'm older.
And you think that English is not necessary?
Well, it does help. It's a subject that allows you to analyse things, and it helps you in that way. But in terms of like getting you to university, it's not necessary. It's not one of those necessary subjects.
During my medicine degree, I did 5 years of sort of medical sciences, so learning how to sort of diagnose diseases and the science behind those diseases and the science behind the medicines that we use. But another part of my medical degree was learning how to interact with people and how to relate to people in all different stages of their life, because human beings are complex creatures and they don't always fit into the boxes that you learn about. And I'd recommend English Literature A-level to anyone who's interested or has a slight interest. Me personally, going into a more technical area like medicine, having English Literature under my belt has been absolutely fantastic.
It's just so important. Everybody should do English.
I did English A-level and then I did English at university, and I think without doing that I wouldn't be doing what I do now.
I use language, writing skills in my job every day. It's one of the most important things I do, whether that's writing press releases or opinion pieces like that one, or even just, every single interaction you have with someone when you're sending an email, you've got to be, in my job, you've got to be persuasive. And the way you do that is through language, which shows, we've got the most interesting thing to say, you want to listen to us over other people, because it's very competitive. Everyone's talking to the media all the time. Why are they going to listen to us more than anyone else? And that's the power of language, persuasion.
There is not a day that goes by when I regret doing English. Even though I haven't done a career that involves writing necessarily, or literature, I think the confidence it gives you to develop your own opinions and express yourself, and the springboard it gives you to open the door to the world of literature will stay with me forever.